No doubt, all signs point that summer is on its way. But while the temperature is rising, it will have a tough time reaching the levels of the Phillies' rotation as they continue to heat up in June. Sure, Mother Nature woke up on the wrong side of the bed this week, but the thunder is starting to come from the bats of your fighting Phils. The only future questions about weather will be whether or not opponents can handle the NL East champions. It is Father's Appreciation Day here at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies wrap up a 4-game series against the Chicago Cubs. And speaking of appreciation, even Richie Ashburn would appreciate what the Phillies' last 2 starters have done against the Cubs. Roy Halladay, 7 innings, 6 hits on Friday night. Cliff Lee, 8 innings, 4 hits, and just 1 run yesterday. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Sarge will be around in just a little while. Starting pitching has certainly been a hot topic for the Phillies this year. And every time Halladay and Lee take the mound, it becomes even more of a topic. And then you have the next day starter, which is Roy Oswalt this afternoon.
And Whitey did not like pitchers, Tom. But I kind of feel like he would have liked this group because they're so good out there on the mound that he would have had a grudging respect for them. And Roy Oswalt, certainly one of those guys when he was on the opposition. And now that he's here, you realize how good this guy is. Season's kind of similar to what he went through last year. The Astros weren't scoring many runs for them. The Phillies certainly don't score a whole lot of runs, so his numbers are pretty similar. He's been through a little time on the disabled list, and I think he's feeling his way back right now, and he is just fine physically. He just needs to go out and win a game.
0-4 with 2 no decisions in his last 6 starts. And speaking of a guy who seems to be feeling a whole lot better since coming off the DL, how about Chase Utley, what he's done the last couple of days?
Well, everything just feels better around here anyway when Chase Utley is back because he's such a big part of this baseball team on defense. Look at this play he makes here the other night when he blocks a runner going in. That was a strikeout double play and a huge part of the game. Put his knee down. This guy just does everything. He's really good at this little glove hand flip, too, on a ground ball in the ball game yesterday. Starting to swing the bat, gave the Phillies a lead, drove the ball to left center field, knocked in 2 early runs to get them up 2-0 in that game. And just for good measure, that little short stroke coming back and late in the ball game hit a 2-run home run, knocked in 4 runs in that game yesterday. Chase Utley, since returning from the disabled list, you see what he did in the first 11 games, been picking it up a little bit lately. The guy basically, Tommy, is coming out of spring training right now. He's getting into his season, and he's starting to look like Chase Utley again.
Yeah, he talked yesterday, Wheels, about timing, how yesterday he had his timing offensively, and now he hopes it carries over for the 2nd consecutive day. It's the final day of this 4-game series, the Phils and the Cubs. Roy Oswalt for the Phillies, Doug Davis, the veteran. He makes his 6th start of the year for the Chicago Cubs. Hey, earlier today, the coaches were pretty busy. A little clinic here at Citizens Bank Park. See if the young kids maybe learn something from Rich Dubin and the other coaches. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park. In fact, they're hoping the sun stays out for a little while. It hadn't been out for most of the morning. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cubs, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in right field, Kosuke Fukudome. Darwin Barney, the second baseman, bats second. Starlin Castro hits third, followed by Carlos Pena, the first baseman. Aramis Ramirez is over at third base. He'll bat fifth. Blake DeWitt hits sixth. And the bottom third of Tyler Colvin in center. Coy Hill behind the plate. And Doug Davis on the mound, and they'll face Phillies right-hander Roy Oswalt, the 33-year-old who hasn't won wheels, and this is kind of odd to say, since the 21st of April.
Yeah, extenuating circumstances there, Tom. He has pitched very well in a lot of games. They haven't scored runs for him, plus he went on the disabled list for a while with that little problem with his back. So Roy is really due to win a ball game. He has kept his team in, as you see by those numbers, just a 3.05 earned run average. Southwest Airlines scouting report, well, he was in the Central Division with these Cubs for a lot of years. Plenty of decisions against the Chicago Cubs.
Think about Oswalt's last 6 outings. He's 0-4 with 2 no decisions. Wheels mentioned the run support. The Phillies have scored 15 runs in those 6 games.
Well, it's time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Starting to get a little bit steamy here as the sun comes out at Citizens Bank Park. Well, how about win another series after that really tough opening loss to this one? And hey, the offense has been going pretty good for a couple of days. Maybe they can keep that going here this afternoon.
Phillies have scored 7 runs in each of the last 2 ball games. And Roy Oswalt would take that and run with it. So here we go. Oswalt's ready to go. So is Kosuke Fukudome. The Cubs have switched up their uniform for today's finale. They're wearing the road grays from top to bottom, after having those blue jerseys the last 3 days. The first pitch is over for strike one.
Yeah, that looks like the Cubs uniform you remember. That road gray.
Cubs were one of the first teams to wear the powder blue road uniforms, and then when everybody else started wearing them, they decided to make them powder blue pinstripes.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Kosuke Fukudome. He didn't play yesterday. And he takes on the outside corner, 1-2. Cubs wearing those wearing that Ron Santo patch on their sleeve, the number 10 for the late great Ron Santo.
Yeah, really missed seeing him around here this weekend.
1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, foul up the first base line. Now, all around baseball, a lot of teams are wearing patches to memorialize some of the folks that have passed away, and also the patch that the Diamondbacks are wearing for the All-Star game. The patch that's not included there is the one the Phillies are wearing, with the B on their chest for Jim and Whip Buck, former Philly owners or who passed away over the last year.
You see the 2 Sparkies there, of course, for the Sparky Anderson for the Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds. There's the B that Tom just mentioned. You saw the pitcher on there with that real high leg kick. That was the great Bob Feller.
And he would have appreciated that pitch right there from Roy Oswalt on the outside corner. Kind of a backdoor slider, and 1 away here in the first.
Yeah, he changes his speeds on his breaking balls a lot. He'll throw that big old slow curveball, and then as Tom said there, that's a backdoor slider, a little harder breaking ball.
So 1 away here in the first. Darwin Barney will be the hitter. Barney is first among National League rookies with 71 hits. He also, thanks to yesterday's performance, now has 25 multi-hit games. He has shown a pretty good consistency even as a rookie.
He called time and he got it too. And Oswalt saw that at the last minute and just threw it away. Pitchers hate that.
Well, particularly pitchers that are have been battling back problems during the course of the year.
Yeah, watch Oswalt right there. He sees the arm go up, and it was really late. And
that's too late.
Yeah, and he wants to make sure, as you said about the back and all, that he doesn't do anything sudden, so he just let the baseball go.
Alan Porter is the home plate umpire this afternoon. 0-1 the count to Barney.
Now the old, I was just going to say, and he kind of did it. The old Roy Oswalt after that, you're going to get buzzed. And he threw inside a little bit.
He's still kind of honked as he's walking around the mound.
Oh, yeah. He was a little feistier in his younger days.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Barney 0 for his last 13 against right-handed pitching, but his average still at 284 against them. And he takes a changeup for a strike. 2-2.
Backed up changeups there. Even when he fell behind with a changeup, comes in with a 2-1 and gets it over.
Line drive, base hit it to right field for Barty. So he's aboard with one out here in the first.
That's what he's shown the ability to do. As Tom mentioned, he's had a bunch of multi-hit games. Well, from what we've seen of him here and on television, he hits the ball all over the place too. Doesn't swing and miss a lot. Makes pretty good contact, just like the guy coming up right now. So, you know, they have the potential for a very good double play combination for a lot of years if these guys can stay healthy, because both of them look like they're going to hit.
Castro's 4 for 13 in this series with an RBI. Back in the 3-hole after leading off yesterday. And he takes upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Castro overall hitting .302 with a home run and 27 runs batted in. He hit close to 400 the first month of the year.
You can see why, as much contact as he makes. He hits them hard, he hits them soft, but he makes contact, and you can be a heck of a player up here if you put the ball in play a lot.
Castro did not start the year last year with the Cubs, but came up and finished in the top 5 in the Rookie of the Year voting, as he hit 300 last season for Chicago.
You know, some people are proponents of it. You hear players say it. Well, I couldn't disagree more that a strikeout is just like any other out. It's not. You know, contact is the most important thing in this game. Is to put the ball in play somewhere. Strikeout, nothing can happen.
That pitch is inside. 2-1. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, down in Florida, the Diamondbacks have taken a 2-0 lead over the Marlins. Stephen Drew a 2-run double. And Marlins lost last night and losing again today.
They've been in a little rough patch. Not what, 9 out of 10.
Yep.
And they play again tomorrow night. So they will not be a rested team coming in here for Tuesday night, as they have one of those wraparound series, and they're playing a night game at home.
Well,
you know, where they could have played in the afternoon.
That's their choice.
Yeah, that's their choice. Exactly. So good. Stay with them.
Phillies will have tomorrow off, but the ALS Festival is tomorrow here at the ballpark, as Castro pulls it foul, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies enter today's play 2 games up over the Braves, who continued their hot play with a victory last night. They're now 37-28. Marlins 6 games back and right on their heels of the New York Mets.
Jim McCann got him again last night with a 3-run home run with nobody out in the 10th inning.
Another foul ball, and our friend Starr, who's one of the Phillies security officers, well, he was running away from that ball as it went into the dugout.
That's why I laugh, because it got him in the backside, and Starr's a tough guy. He could handle that. He's running away from that one.
And to your point, 2 wheels about contact. For Starlin Castro, we've seen him extend the life of this at-bat and the number of pitches that Oswalt's thrown by just fouling a few pitches off.
You can do so much more when you put the ball in play than when you swing and miss and strike out. Here you go again. And it's hot here today. You know, he's got 18 pitches already with, you know, 3rd hitter of the game up. And it'll all add up as it goes along. And they've been trying to get Oswalt deeper into games. And this one off to a start where that probably is not going to happen.
The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a curve that buckled his knees because he was trying to get out of the way of it. And it's 3-2.
Trying everything with him. Fastball, curveball, a couple change-ups. Now they may run here. Well, they may run. They will run here because they don't swing and miss that much. These 2 guys, Barney and Castro. So you can run.
There he goes. And a line drive down the left field line. It's a fair ball. It kicked up some chalk. And it's going to the corner. The Cubs are going to take the lead as Barney will score an RBI double by Starlin Castro. And it's 1-0 Chicago.
Yeah, he didn't hit it hard, but he didn't strike out. He didn't strike out either. It was a changeup. Looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat and kept it fair somehow.
16th double of the year for Castro.
I mean, about these 2 guys, Barney and Castro. Right. Oh, That was a great replay. Off the end of the bat. There are a lot of hitters in this league that swing and miss at that pitch. But, you know, that guy doesn't. Then Barney scores easily since he was running. They had the confidence he wasn't going to strike out into a double play, so they started him.
So a run across the plate here in the first. Here's Carlos Pena with one out. And Pena hits a towering pop-up right around the second base bag. Rollins is over in Chase Utley's territory. He makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. And I bring that up because Rollins told us a couple weeks ago that anything on his side of the diamond is his. Anything on the second base side of the diamond is Chase Utley's. That's the rule the two have.
But there can be exceptions.
Which there, Rollins had a better angle coming in on it.
And we may have just seen an exception. Right? Well, yeah, exactly. He may have looked up into the sun and had a better look at it because it is glary right now. They both have the sunglasses on. He may have seen it been a little easier play that he had the angle and he wasn't looking right into the sun the way Utley was.
Ramirez tried to check, and he does, according to Field and Colbert. So it's 1 ball and no strikes to Aramis Ramirez, a .283 hitter. He has the most at bats against Oswalt in his career. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Ibanez going back to the wall, and it is gone. Right into the first row, a 2-run home run. Just the 4th allowed by Oswalt this year. And the Cubs lead it 3-0.
You know, the changeup got hurt on changeups in this inning. And that one came down and in, and all he had to do was drop the head on it.
4th home run of the year for Ramirez.
Changeup off the end of the bat that Castro hit down the left field line. Here's another changeup. See it come in? Just drop right down in. A good look at it right there. Coming right back towards the heart of the plate, and bam. Not where Roy Oswalt wanted that pitch.
So 3-0 Chicago. Blake DeWitt takes outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to DeWitt.
Now the only good news about this is it's early, and they're facing a guy who's 0-5 with a 6+ earned run average, and they're scoring more runs. So it's not one of those games where you get your head down right away. We're going, uh-oh. Gave up 3. We're not hitting, and we're facing a guy who's lights out.
Back toward the middle, and it goes past Rollins into center. So DeWitt's aboard. That's the 4th hit of the inning given up by Oswalt. And the 7th man to bat in the inning, Tyler Colvin, will step to the plate. Colvin has 3 hits in the series. He's 3 for 10. His average at 110. And he takes a fastball for strike 1. Off the end of the bat, fly ball to shallow left. Rollins goes out, makes the call. He's under it, and the inning finally comes to a close after 29 pitches and 3 runs for the Cubs. 3 runs on 4 hits. The big blow, a 2-run home run by Aramis Ramirez. That'll take us to the bottom of the first. As they will bat for the first time against Doug Davis. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Ben Francisco's in right field. He'll bat fifth. Raul Ibanez hits sixth. The number 7 hitter is Carlos Ruiz, followed by Wilson Valdez, the third baseman. And, of course, Oswalt. And they'll face 35-year-old left-hander Doug Davis, who has been all over the map as far as his major league career goes, and this year he's 0-5 with an ERA of 6.5.
Yeah, also a guy who courageously fought back from cancer and is pitching again in the major leagues. He was with the Milwaukee Brewers last year, 24 innings, 31 hits. He brought him up recently after they had some guys hurt. He started the year in the minor leagues. He is a guy that likes to use a cut fastball a lot, change up, as you see the Southwest Airlines scouting report, and those are his lifetime numbers against the Phillies. He is definitely not a hard thrower, which sometimes can be a problem for lineups.
Yeah, this is his 9th career start against the Phillies. Rollins has 3 hits and 24 at-bats against him during his career.
Well, he has a little hesitation in his delivery. Sometimes can make it a little tough to stay back because guys are swinging at his motion.
1-1 pitch to Rollins. Back toward the middle. That's a base hit for Jimmy. He kept his hands back and was able to pick off the leadoff single here in the first.
Doug Davis is a guy that you can hit and make contact with, and you know it's not the end of the world that they gave up a 3 spot in the first inning, but we'll see how they approach him. If you get antsy against him, he'll get you out.
With Rollins at first, here's Victorino. Shane is hitting .283. He's riding a 4-game hitting streak, batting .395 from the right side of the plate. Little toss over to first, and Rollins just gets back.
Well, that's close to a balk move.
Sure is.
And a good move by Davis, so to get a runner's attention, because he's not the quickest guy to the plate with that slow stuff that he throws. But technically, you do have to step towards first base and not towards home plate. And he was in between.
Rollins has stolen 14 bases. He's been caught 1 time. And the first pitch to Victorino, a strike. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sandy Krizanovich. Boy, I had it right before. I was practicing that name, too. From East Greenville, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Sandy will win $100. Krizanovich inside with the next pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Back to the old days when Whitey used to do the Daily News home run payoff and had names like that all the time. Didn't anybody named Brown or White that enters these contests?
Oh, we haven't seen many Smiths or Jones over the last few weeks. Rollins leads off first. Not a huge lead. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded toward the hole at shortstop. Castro picks it, throws to second, and boy, oh boy, I'm surprised he was able to get Jimmy, but he did. That was a good throw by Starlin Castro. 6-4 on the putout.
Kind of easy.
So with 1 away, runner at first, it's time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
That was nice to see Chase Utley. That little short swing off Joe Coleman's son, who they had just brought up from the minor leagues, and hit it out of the ballpark.
That's our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, as the Phillies, well, they're not really looking for a blast. They would take it right here. They're just looking to keep this train moving. At a strike to Utley, and it's 0-1.
Davis has been using the slide step with Jimmy Rollins. Now, on that first pitch there, that is his normal delivery, and that's when he's going to have a time around 1.6 where he could run on him. If he uses a slide step, he's quicker. There's the slide step.
On the hands, and it's back to over the Cubs dugout out of play.
But he's not a guy that picks a leg way up in the air like some pitchers will do, because he's not a big velocity guy. Some pitchers don't like to use a slide step because they really feel that they lose velocity on their pitches. You see what base stealers are against him.
No balls and 2 strikes, the count. Off the end of the bat toward left field. Going out is Castro. He's not going to get there. Victorino's heading to third. The throw is offline. He was fortunate there, but His aggressiveness paid off, and it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Yeah, all of that. If he was fortunate and being aggressive, it does pay off, and now maybe you can get a run with a fly ball here. Chase hits that thing right off the end of the bat, and it looked like DeWitt had a shot at him here at 3rd, because he gets to it quickly and it hops up nicely for him, but his throw is wide. If it's on the bag, you're saying, uh-oh, not a good play. He wasn't running real hard from 1st to 2nd because he can't. He has to make sure the ball drops, and then he picked it up. He had the play right in front of him, so it's up to him whether to go or not.
So now 1st and 3rd with 1 out for Ryan Howard. 1 for 10 in this series so far. And just 3 for 22 on the homestand.
It was a big one, though.
Sure was.
Got that hit yesterday that helped the start break that game open for the Phillies. That base hit after he was buried 0-2 by Sean Marsh.
Utley leads off first. Victorino off 3rd. And a strike on the outside corner. That's the fastball from Doug Davis.
Yeah, and he's not going to light up a radar gun. It was 84. The one before that was 85. Got him maxed out. What do we have in the scouting report? 86, I think. 86 to 88.
Wheels mentioned Doug Davis had a battle through thyroid cancer at one point in his career. Last year, he also had a battle through inflammation of the lining of his heart, and that cost him a few starts. And then eventually he was put on the DL with arm problems. And a curveball, nubbed foul behind the plate, 1-2. We go to the American League on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The red hot Red Sox, who scored 16 runs yesterday, have picked up right where they left off and lead the Blue Jays 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, that 2-10 starts a memory, huh?
A distant memory.
Distant memory. I remember even reading some things that, well, they may fire Terry Francona after this tough. Really? They had a lot of talent, and it's taken over.
Howard lays off a curve that's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A difference between the last 2 curves of 7 miles per hour.
Yeah, well, he just, like I said, we're going to top off at 86, maybe 87. Throw a lot of breaking balls and change-ups, maybe not change-ups to the left-handed hitters. He's a guy that you must be patient against. If you do, you have a chance to hit him.
In the air to straightaway center field. Colvin going back toward the warning track, off the base of the wall. Victorino will score. Utley stops at 3rd. It's a long RBI double for Howard. The Phillies are on the board.
And we just barely got it out. Ryan Howard did exactly that. Be patient. He really waits on this slow hook coming up there. Watch him wait, and then bam, explode at the end, and the ball really carrying. It's hot here. Coleman thought he had a shot at it a couple times, and then right off the base of the wall, Chase Utley runs as hard as anybody. He had to be careful there for a while because it looked like he could still catch that thing.
And Howard is safe at 2nd, safe and secure with New York life.
That's what we meant about you can get runs off Doug Davis now. If you'll just be patient. And just down 3-0 the 1st inning, certainly not the end of the world.
Here's Ben Francisco with runners on 2nd and 3rd.
Base hit here in the right spot, and all of a sudden it's a new game. Boom, just like that.
Francisco has not started since the 6th of June against the Dodgers. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to him. Now I say that doesn't seem that long ago, but for a guy that had been playing every day, it is kind of a long time. Dominic Brown's played because there have been a lot of right-handers on the hill.
Right, you haven't seen a left-hander who since Lilly from the Dodgers the other night.
2 balls and no strikes the count to Francisco, who calls time. And now Coy Hill will go out to the mound and talk to Doug Davis.
Ooh, the bat racks are rattling early today in both dugouts. Combination of the pitchers throwing some pitches in the middle of the plate and it being this warm and the way the ball is carried.
Mike Quaddy, the manager of the Cubs. The 2-0 pitch to Francisco. Inside, 3-0.
In fact, don't even want him right now with the base open. Another left-handed hitter on deck.
Well, lefties are hitting .304 against Davis. Righties .324.
He's only thrown one home run ball this year, and it's to a right-handed hitter.
Didn't seem like Francisco had the green light on that 3-0 pitch. It's 3-1.
It was a fastball, get him over. 81. Patience, patience, patience. He can be right back in this game.
Inside, ball 4. The bases are loaded. They're going to play the infield back with the bases loaded. Mike Quaddy was just signaling.
Yeah, they can play for 2 here, but back deep to play for 2 because Ibanez doesn't run that well.
He's hit it 5 straight, as you see there. In his last 21 games here at Citizens Bank Park, Ibanez is hitting .375.
Boy, are they pinch in the middle.
And they're deep in the outfield. And he takes strike 1. See the alignment defensively. Ramirez, the third baseman, is the only one in.
And that gives him the option to come home for the play at the plate if it's slowly hit, or go around the horn for a double play if it's hit hard at him. We're playing Starlin Castro up the middle, and Barney probably would be a little more towards the hole. He'd probably be over this way a little bit more, except that they're thinking about a double play.
Grounder foul right past Sam Perlazo.
So he can play over a little bit more than normal because the shortstop is so close to the bag too. Meaning that if the ball's hit to the shortstop, he can come get it himself at second base, as opposed to, you know, having the second baseman come a long way.
See, Ibanez's numbers with the bases loaded. The 8 grand slams are impressive, but the average in RBIs are really impressive. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to him. Swing and a miss. He tied him up with an 83-mile-an-hour fastball off the inside corner. And there are 2 outs.
That's the one thing you wouldn't expect. There is a strikeout from a guy like Davis. As Tom said, he tied him up. Everything was away. See, fastball grip there, comes in on him a little bit. May not have been a strike.
Well, 2 outs, and here's Ruiz. The Phillies had a couple big 2-out hits late in the game yesterday. Now they're trying to get a big one early in the game here. And Davis will work from the windup. And a slow curve taken low, 1-0.
And so far it's worked for what they did. They did pitch around Francisco with the base open with a left-handed hitter on deck, and they got a strikeout.
Line drive caught by Ramirez at third, and the side is retired. The Phillies get 1 run back, but they leave the bases loaded here at the bottom of the first. We go to the second. Cubs 3, Phillies 1. To win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. Well, it's Father's Appreciation Day here at the ballpark. Brian Schneider's dad, Pete, was honored before the game. And Pete is going to join us later on. And speaking of father and son, Ed and Kyle, Ed's the father, Kyle's the son. They have seen 18 ballparks, 12 to go in their father-son baseball trip. Wonder if they're going to go to Pittsburgh at some point in the next couple of days, since they're here in Philadelphia today, and it looked like Pittsburgh was next on their list.
Oh, they'll love that ballpark. I'm sure they're enjoying this one.
Coy Hill leads it off. Hill didn't play the first 3 games of this series, and he takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Hill. It'll be Hill, Doug Davis, and then the top of the order. Outside, and it's 2-1.
Both the starters with shaky first innings will both try to settle down, and Phillies really had a shot at Doug Davis there and let him get away.
Oswalt's fastball today has not been as crisp as usual. Normally he's in the low 90s.
And he doesn't have command of it either, and that's the whole key. Even if the velocity isn't the greatest, if you can hit your spots.
Grounder to first. Howard stays down on it, and he easily wins the race to the bag. 1 away.
He got hurt with a couple changeups in the first inning.
So 1 out. It'll bring Doug Davis to the plate. Hey, after this one's over with, the Phillies have the off day tomorrow. Then they welcome in the Florida Marlins for 4 games. In fact, Wednesday's that split day-night doubleheader. If you want some tickets, you can get them for the 105 game. In fact, there's tickets available for all 4 limited seats. But 105 game on Wednesday, there's some good seats still available by going to Phillies.com. Here's Doug Davis, hitless this year in 4 at-bats. For his career, he has 13 runs batted in.
A left-hander who bats right-handed, so the mandatory elbow pad in place. Phillies have one of those guys, Ryan Madson, who throws right, of course, and bats left, so they got to make sure they protect that arm, that pitching arm. Look at that pad he has on there.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Davis. And a curveball rolled to shortstop. Rollins can kind of run it over to the bag himself as he throws out Davis for the second out. Saving some energy, boys. That was Doug Davis's thought on that.
Yeah. You take your time on that one.
It's a shame that, Carlos Pena is not due up, because that would give Davis even more time before he goes back out to the mound.
Guy does take a while getting to the box.
He does. Here's Fukudome. He went down looking on strikes his first time up.
The game started great with him striking out, and then both Barney and Castro had really good long at bats and wound up producing a run on a single and a double.
A strike of the knees to Fukudome. It's 0-1. Outside, 3-1.
Just can't command anything today, especially his fastball. That was another one that missed.
There's Barney, who waits on deck. 3-1 the count to Fukudome. Fly ball. Shallow left center field. Victorino and Ibanez come in. It's Victorino who makes the call and the catch. The side is retired in order. So the Cubs go down 1-2-3. We played 1.5. We go to the bottom of the second. Wilson Valdez will lead it off when we return. The best in the world at what he does. Catch 2 full hours of the acclaimed medical drama House tonight starting at 8 right here on PHL 17. Last of the second, Wilson Valdez, Roy Oswalt, Jimmy Rollins, 8-9-1 for the Phillies against left-hander Doug Davis. Phillies let Davis off the ropes in the first. They loaded up the bases, had a run across the plate, 1 out, and then he was able to get Raul Ibanez and Carlos Ruiz on strikes to finish the inning up. So here's Valdez, who's playing third in place of Placido Polanco.
Yeah, just a day off for Polanco. Charlie Manuel trying to give some guys days off when he can. I think Valdez is going to bunt. I've never seen them play a first baseman the way they are right now with Pena. You know, off the bag, yeah. Off the line, I mean, but not up that much. Like he's going to push one down there.
Maybe they might think that even if he hits it, he's not going to hit it hard. Now he'll go back.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. Now there's 2 strikes. He goes back. So they thought he was going to bunt. Has he pushed the bunt to the right side this year?
He has shown bunt a lot, but I don't think he's pushed one that way.
I mean, that'd be something to get on the scouting reports if he had done it.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Valdez. Up high, 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard down in Houston, the Atlanta Braves have picked up where they left off yesterday. The struggling Dan Uggla, not struggling today. 2-run home run. It's 2-0 Braves.
They hit him second last night for the first time this year, or the second time. Anyway, they hit him second. He had 2 hits and 2 walks. I think he was on base 4 times last night out of the 2-hole. You know, whether or not he probably hit 2 today if he had that kind of game last night. So they're trying anything to get him going, and maybe that'll work for them. But he is just unbelievable that his numbers will be what they are here in June.
Valdez, a little number back to the mound, and Davis throws him out. 1 out here in the second inning. Hey, if you're hitting the road, take the Phillies with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Here's Oswalt. Hitting .133, just 2 hits this year. And he takes on the outside corner. Same pitch and same result. Davis wastes a curve, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oswalt, you saw, does have 1 career home run. Kind of tough to hit a homer against Davis for Oswalt because he doesn't throw that hard. And he's down on strike. So second strikeout for Davis. 2 away here in the second. And we head back to the top of the order for Jimmy Rollins. Rollins singled in his first at bat. That brought his average up to 260. It's only his second hit on this homestand. His numbers are kind of different than Victorino, the 2 switch hitters for the Phillies. From the right side of the plate, Rollins is hitting just .222, whereas Victorino's hitting .395.
Jimmy's right on top of the plate, right-handed here against Davis. Davis likes to throw cutters once in a while, but he doesn't have anywhere near the cutter he used to have. Not much velocity, throwing a lot of change-ups, a few curveballs.
Now it's 3-0. Rollins taking all the way. 3-1 with that fastball.
Ramirez is on the line like it's in the late inning defense, but it's only because Davis doesn't throw that hard, and they expect these right-handed hitters to pull. Combination of lack of velocity and occasional cutters in.
That one's hit towards short, not that hard. Easy play for Starlin Castro. He throw, nice play by Pena, who scooped it out of the dirt. And the side is retired. Phillies go down in order here in the second. We go to the third here in Philadelphia with the Phillies down by 2. Go to the fan section for all the information. Wheels, please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, name the Cub who was intentionally walked 5 times in a game by the Reds to set an MLB record. Were you there, Wheels?
I mean, I got a little sarcasm from the truck, from the
Control
studio.
room. Control
studio,
room. Yeah.
Not a truck here. Before you read that, like, are you ready for this layup?
The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
Consider that a layup, do you?
Well, I know the answer, so yeah.
Of course you do.
Grounder to second. Chase Utley is there. Darwin Barney is retired.
But if you didn't know the answer,
I would have no idea.
Let's say.
Until somebody text messaged me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that one.
Barney's retired. Here's Starlin Castro.
But I'm sure many of our fans out there will get that correct.
He's a recognizable name, and it is a he, just so you know. So those 2 hints right there for you.
It is a he. Listen to you.
Castro doubled and drove in a run his last time up.
A big-hearted guy.
I told you it was a recognizable name.
And I have not asked for a hint, and I'll wait till the 7th.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Castro. In the air to shallow right. Francisco comes in a few steps, and he puts it away for the second out.
You walk 5 times intentionally in one game.
You're a good player.
Yeah, but the circumstances involved.
Well, maybe the team wasn't that good, and he was the only real weapon that team had. Hey, you want to add to your Phillies game experience? Pre-game party areas for groups of 20 or more are perfect for entertaining family, friends, or business associates. Variety of party areas to choose from. For more information, call 215-463-5000 and ask about pregame parties at Citizens Bank Park. 2 outs now for Carlos Pena. And Pena takes a strike. It's 0-1. Pena was retired on a pop-up his first time up. Jimmy Rollins on the right side was able to make the catch. Outside, 1-1. It's that one hard through the hole on the right side, so a base hit for Pena. a 2-out single. And he's aboard from Aramis Ramirez. That was Page's 3rd hit in this series. He had one big one in the first game. Now Oswalt hits 50 pitches, which the way the first inning started, that's not really that bad at this point. But because of that first inning, Rich Doobie is probably thinking, well, if we don't go deep, who's going to be the first one out of the pen?
Yeah. Where are we going here today? But you're right, Tom. Of course, he rallied in the second, then got 2 quick outs here in the third.
Fly ball to right, pretty deep, but playable for Francisco. A couple steps from the track, makes the catch. That helps Oswalt in his pitch count, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the third here in Philadelphia. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. Buy Jeep brand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. And by Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. Bottom of the third, it's 3-1 Cubs. Shane Victorino, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard to lead it off against Doug Davis.
To go back to that approach in the first inning, even though they didn't get a big inning, take your time with this guy and you can piece an inning together and be back, and tie this game up, take the lead. If you jump at him, he'll get you out. Like that.
To center field, Colvin makes the play.
Change up, jump at him, he'll get outs.
Well, Victorino's retired, and that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. It's almost the same lines as Jamie Moyer and how effective he was for the Phillies,
sure,
for the Mariners for so many years. And the style is very similar. He probably doesn't have the same kind of, well, he doesn't have the same pinpoint accuracy that Jamie had.
Yeah, this guy, we mentioned it earlier, uses that little hitch in his delivery too, for deception.
Utley takes off the outside corner.
He wants the hitter to get as antsy as possible and get out front of pitches. And one of the ways that he tries to do it is by using that slow delivery. He got Shane on a change up there. Use that delivery where he hesitates a little bit right there, and then here comes the ball. Jamie could do that very well too. He could, if he had a base run, he could hang the leg in the air a long time and change his delivery, change the speed of his delivery.
2-0 the count to Utley. And a curve low, 3-0. Doug Davis has been with the Rangers, spent 5 years there. Milwaukee, he spent a combined 4 years, 2 different stints. 3 years with Arizona, 1 year with the Blue Jays, and now here with the Cubs. 91 wins, 106 losses. Ryan Howard's on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. That's foul down the left field line. Chase talked yesterday after the game about his timing and how important it is for him to have his timing. He had it yesterday. He said now the next step is to not only have it yesterday, but then have it carry over to tomorrow, which is now today. You know, to put back-to-back games together, or 3 straight or 4 straight games where he's gotten good swings. 3-2 pitch coming. Ground ball to Ryan Howard. Flips it to the fan in the first row. Second row?
Yeah. Close.
Well, the young lady in the first row wasn't ready for it.
Right. Went right over their heads into the second row. And they were ready. Not only do you get a foul ball, but you have a big-time star player toss it to you. That's got to be a kick.
Utley stays alive and just flicks that ball foul into the seats over the third base dugout.
So tough to stay back on a guy like this, because even his fastball is not big league type fastball. See right here, it's a fastball, and normally you don't see a guy. I always tell people you want to figure out pitches. You rarely see a major league hitter out front of a big league fastball. This guy, you have a chance to have that happen. Combination of the delivery and the velocity.
3-2 again, the count to Utley. And he hits that one off his foot. And it's foul. 3-2 is where the count remains. Chase was saying yesterday that the difference between, he was telling Jim Jackson this on the postgame show, the difference between the majors and the minors during his rehab, because he had a lot of rehab starts, is the velocity of the fastball is better here in the majors, and their accuracy is better. Now, that may not be the case velocity-wise with Doug Davis, but he does have accuracy.
Yeah, that's why they're still in the minor leagues. They're young players working on being able to throw the ball where they want to more often than not. Good at bat by Chase. Make him throw a lot of pitches. He's up to 50.
Ball 4, and Utley's aboard. That's the second walk issued by Davis.
And he approached Doug Davis the way you have to be successful, with patience. And a very, very good at bat by Chase Utley, who you know, little by little is starting to get back to the Chase Utley that you know and really appreciate. And it just takes time. You know, he basically right now is coming out of spring training.
That was a 10-pitch at bat by Utley. And now it brings Howard to the plate, who hit the base of the center field wall his first time up.
Well, recently, I don't know that he'd have had the timing involved to have that long in the bat that he just had.
Howard lays off a breaking ball, and it's 1-0. Yeah, I agree with you on that, because, you know, and if a guy threw a little harder, maybe it would be different. But, you know, just to be able to see that many pitches, and
right,
every day he gets better.
Foul them off, as opposed to maybe swinging, missing, or putting one of those in play and make a weak out.
I think Ryan thought that was low, and it's 1-1.
He hit a curveball his first time up off the base of the wall. Flirted with a 3-run home run that would have tied the game. Looked like they were off and running for a big inning, but only got one.
Utley leads off first. 3 infielders on the right side. Ramos Ramirez, the third baseman, is playing shortstop. A line drive, base hit it to right field. That'll get Utley over to third at least. Fukudome cuts it off, and Utley stops at third. First and third for the Phils. Ryan Howard is 2 for 2 against Doug Davis.
He hit another curveball too, up in the zone and tomahawked it. I can't tell right there, but I think it was a breaking ball. He hooks it. Good job. by the outfielder right there, who's really deep. There was a hanging breaking ball, and Fukudome cuts it off nicely so that it's not a double.
So first and third with one out. Here's Francisco, who walked his first time up.
And they pitched around him his first time up with a base open. Technically, they still have a base open, but it's not as prominent as when first base is just sitting there with nobody on it.
Yeah, here it's first and third, so double play is in order if they choose to pitch him that way.
Right, and if you don't want to do that, you still have the base open. But when the base is not occupied, then it's really open.
1 ball and no strikes the count to Francisco. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes.
Almost the same approach as they had last time. And you know, they're trying to get Francisco to get himself out here, as Tom just said, with the double play in order. They can get out of the inning that way if he'll roll one over. Same thing. You know, these pitches are, they're tempting to swing at, but they're not strikes. And Ben's doing a really good job so far of being disciplined.
All right, will Charlie give him the green light though this time, you think?
I don't know. He hasn't played for so long. He may.
There's ball 4, so he's walked for the second time. The bases are loaded for the second straight at bat for Ibanez.
Yeah, those were not intentional walks, but for all intents and purposes, they were. Give Francisco credit not for biting. And now it's up to Ibanez again, who struck out there last time in this situation.
So Utley's over at third for Ibanez. Howard's at second. And Francisco's at first. Now, Ibanez did strike out, as Wheels mentioned, but as we told you before, he has very good numbers with the bases loaded for his career. I mean, not only grand slams, but his average is solid. His RBI total is solid.
Only had one look at him now. Maybe a better idea of what they're trying to do with him.
He checked. They appeal. No swing, says Adrian Johnson.
His body started to go then, but his hand stayed back.
Now time is called. Now interesting, Davis worked from the windup the last time the bases were loaded against Ruiz, but didn't do it against Ibanez, and he's not doing it against Ibanez here.
Well, the difference, I think, is 1 out or 2 outs. Yeah.
Well, last time Raul had an opportunity to hit a grand slam. Here you go. Or I should say cashed in on an opportunity to hit a grand slam.
Yeah, Joel Hanrahan of the Nats. But you make a good point. A lot of times they don't want them winding up, or they don't want them winding up when there's only 1 out, because it gives more time to clear the bases. But a lot of pitchers, they'll pitch from the stretch even with the bases loaded. I guess it's a preference or a managerial preference.
1-0 pitch to Ibanez. In the dirt, blocked by Hill. 2-0.
With 2 outs, if you're pitching from the windup, you have more of a chance to clear the bases anyway because they're off on contact.
Even with his stretch as hot as it's been, he struggled with runners in scoring position. It's 2 balls and no strikes to him.
Good pitch. It looked like he caught the corner in a perfect spot, and a good job by Raul Ibanez. You don't want to be swinging at that. You're not going to do anything with it.
Phillies had the bases loaded in the first with 1 out, didn't score. Now they have the bases loaded here in the third with 1 out. Hit hard toward the right side into right field, a base hit. Utley scores. Howard holds it third. It's a 1-run game as Ibanez comes through with the RBI single.
Well, nice job by Raul that time to not get himself out the way he did last time and hit the ball hard into the hole. Brian Howard has no chance to score on that. Ball was hit really hard, and Juan Samuel just stops him 1 base at a time. They have an extra pitcher available in the bullpen, so they're going to have a little conversation right now and get somebody up.
Well, they have an extra pitcher available. We saw him yesterday, but they also have, just like the Phillies, they have the starter from the other night in that rain-shortened outing, Randy Wells, that could possibly be able to pitch today. Kyle Kendrick might be able to pitch too, but it's Rodrigo Lopez who's up and throwing. He pitched in the opener of this series
after the rain delay.
Yep. So Mark Riggins out to the mound to talk to Doug Davis. You know, the Phillies have really thrived at Citizens Bank Park this year, even a little bit better than last season record-wise. Now, offensively, not the same, and pitching-wise, a hair better. But look at those offensive differences.
The homers,
amazing.
49-30. Carlos hit a changeup right off the end of his bat last time for the final out of the inning.
And he takes. It's 1-0.
Yeah, that graphic certainly shows that they've won this year because of their outstanding pitching.
Big curveball, and it's 1-1 to Carlos Ruiz.
Patience, 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 and they're trying in this. I think Ben Francisco's that bat was huge. The way he let them walk him, if that's what they wanted to do, and maybe get a big inning out of it.
Carlos, well, he was swinging for the downs and
way too big a swing there. When he talks about his swing getting long, that guy threw him a fastball too, and he was late on it. It almost looked like because the swing was so long. Fly ball here ties the game. Oh, cutter, yeah, good one. Good patience there by Carlos Ruiz not to swing at that one.
Carlos has 6 hits and 18 at bats in this homestand. He's scuffling with runners in scoring position lately.
Yeah, good chance to change that right now.
And he's down on strikes. 2 outs.
Well, that's 2 strikeouts now that Davis has gotten with 1 out and the bases loaded. And not a strikeout pitcher. And that's just guys trying to do too much with him. You make outs, you understand outs, but not strikeouts. Backdoor cutter.
So here's Valdez with 2 away, and again the bases are loaded. Valdez, his first time up, hit a little number back to the box. So he's 0 for 1.
Shorter the swing, the more chance you have to hit a guy. The better the chance you have to hit a guy like this.
Howard over at third, Francisco at second, Ibanez at first. I think he wanted that curve. It was a little high. And it's 1-1.
Hot it is right now. His uniform just drenched. Long inning, but only 1 run.
This will be his 31st pitch of the inning. In the dirt, 2-1.
Just tries to make you hit his pitch all the time because he knows he's short with stuff and he can't go in anywhere near the middle of the plate or he's going to get hurt. The odds are he'll get hurt.
Over to second base. That should be an easy play for Barney. Took an odd hop, but he throws out Valdez, and the side is retired. The Phillies do get a run, but for the second time in 3 innings, they leave the bases loaded. We've completed 3. We go to the 4th. It's a 3-2 Cubs lead. faces you'll love, like fireworks colored paper from Boise with 30 glorious and fun colors. Who but W.B. Mason? Go to the top of the fourth. Phillies trail at 3-2. And it'll be bottom of the order due up for the Cubs. And well, the Cubs scored 3 in the first, but Sarge, Phillies have kind of let Doug Davis off the hook these couple times.
Yeah, had great opportunities to be able to drive in at least a couple more runs. Just hasn't happened. Guy swinging a little bit too hard on a guy that throws too soft, and I'd get up on the plate, take that inside away from him. He's still going to go outside.
DeWitt hits one to the middle, and Rollins bobbled it. That's going to be an error. That'll be his 5th of the year. So it's an E6. Well, you kind of get the feeling that if Oswalt can keep it where it is, and you know he's looked okay since that first inning, that error aside, there haven't been a lot of base runners that they probably could get to Doug Davis.
Yeah, they've had good opportunities, and the other thing, you like the way Ryan Howard is starting to hit that ball off of those left-handers too, and hitting the ball hard. So hopefully they can continue to do that. Let Davis get himself in trouble again.
Tyler Colvin hits one in the air to center. Dorito is playing back and makes the catch. One away. Sarge, I also couldn't help but notice, but you're sporting a very different look today. The hat.
Yeah.
Is it a Philadelphia Stars hat that you're wearing?
Absolutely. I got to tell you, you're pretty good. Yeah, it is a Stars hat. I just woke up this morning thinking about the 3 they actually had left. So I put that hat on, and I really did. And I like it. Different look. Keep you guessing.
It looks like it fits a little bit, the baseball cap on top of the Sarge's head.
I used to wear that.
I remember. There was a lot more hair that was busted out of the side of it, though.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Here's Coy Hill with a runner at first. 1 out here at the top of the 4th. Hill grounded to first in the 2nd inning. Takes outside. 1-0. Each team with 5 hits in this ball game. The Cubs, 4 of those hits came in the first. Outside. That fastball at 88 miles per hour for Oswalt. And it's 2-1.
That fastball hasn't been the problem. He's been hurt on that off-speed pitch here today. If he needs to maybe just throw a few more, then he can get him off of that pitch.
He hasn't thrown that slow curve, which used to be his bread and butter pitch. In this ball game just yet, but I guess that's part of not being able to establish a lot of the off-speed stuff.
Not bringing it out early is always a good thing.
There's a strike, and it's 3-2. That was a fastball at 87.
Yeah, and not so much on the velocity as it would be the location of where he's throwing those pitches. Quaddy's been pretty aggressive here, and I would expect, well, maybe not start that runner with 1 out, see how he's going to do it.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. They started Barney back in the first, and he scored. There goes DeWitt. Pitches low, ball 4. And now there are 2 on with 1 out here in the 4th. And Doug Davis will get a chance to sacrifice in this spot. Davis grounded out to Rollins his first time up. Takes a look down at Ivan De Jesus. Valdez asks for time.
Yeah, we talked about that. He's actually just given the signs on exactly where they're going to go, verbally telling the pitcher.
That one's butted foul, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Valdez, he'll get his sign there from the dugout. Palazzo gives that sign and will let them know whether or not they want him charging or doing their will play.
Davis bunts at it, misses. The throw back to second a little high. I think they called that a ball. I wonder if they'll appeal that. I didn't think Davis pulled the bat back. Ooh, a swing and bunt. A slug bunt. And it's 1-2.
Good, just trying to get it down on the ground there. Slug bunt. Well, here's that pitch before that Tom was actually talking about. See whether or not he.
Oh, he offered it that.
I think for me that was really close. I saw him take his hand off of the bat.
But the bat stayed out there. He squares again, and he bunts it back toward the mound. They've got to play at third. Oswalt's throw to third in time. Valdez was backing up on the play and kept on backing up. 1-5 on the putout on the fielder's choice. 2 away.
Here it is. Not a very good bunt there as it goes right back to Oswalt. He knows what he's going to do with it before he even gets it. Good play there by Valdez, staying right on the bag there. Look at that turn there by Oswalt. Very deliberate. Knows he didn't have a fast runner. You can do that, not rush your throw.
So still first and second. Now 2 outs. Kosuke Fukudome is the hitter. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's also flied to center. Outside, it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Have a lot better success against Fukudome when you get those early strikes. He likes to take a lot of pitches. You know, evident his on base percentage is over 400.
Fly ball, shallow right. Way up there for Francisco. He's under it and he makes the catch. The side is retired. No runs, no hits. There was one Phillies error. The Cubs lead 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Appreciation Day here at the ballpark, and today Brian Schneider's dad Pete got the chance to throw out the first pitch to his son. That was a pretty good pitch. He looked like he played some baseball, or at least threw a lot of batting practice during Brian's days. And Pete joins us up here in the booth. Well, we're still a week away from Father's Day, but happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Was it neat to be out there with Brian?
Oh, it's special. Really neat. Just awesome to be here, and to be with Brian made it really special.
I saw Brian walking around the clubhouse the last couple of days, and it dawned on me that that they had pulled his name out of the hat, that you were going to be given the honor of coming up and spending the day up here. How's he doing?
He's doing well, thanks. He leg's feeling good. He's running. He's going to test it running the bases, I think, next couple of days, and hopefully join the team on the next homestand once we get back from the trip. He's itching. He wants to be in there bad. He was just glad to get back in the locker room yesterday and see the guys, and just to be around it again.
How difficult is it for you when you see him play? Have you gotten used to it now in those certain situations, bases loaded?
Well, I still kind of grip the seat a little bit harder, and my wife closes her eyes sometimes, but we're pretty used to it now, and it's just, again, it's just special. It's an honor just to be out there and to share that with them.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Roy Oswalt will lead it off against Doug Davis, and he takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. You know, Sarge has talked about this, Pete, the thrill of watching your son play Major League Baseball. Could you think back to when Brian made his Major League debut with the Expos, what that was like?
Absolutely. He got the call up. It was actually on a Friday, and he called us late Thursday night and told us he was heading for San Diego. I said, of course, it had to be West Coast. We couldn't get out there for actually his debut on Friday, but we did get out on Saturday and saw his first base hit, and went on the field afterward, and it's just hard to describe. It's just a very special, humbling feeling, and it's just, you know, every father's dream.
A 1-2 the count to Roy Oswalt. I was also wondering, when he got his first base hit, did you feel your arm tingle a little bit, all those pitches you threw to him while he was growing up?
All the soreness went out of my arm with that hit, Tom. I'll tell you.
Here's the pitch to Oswalt, and a foul ball back to over the screen.
You know, that is a pretty good point. Just how much advice, though, did Dad give his son in coming up? And I'm sure there were times when he might go to different coaches, whether or not it was Babe Ruth, American Legion, and you might say, well, try this. I don't know if that's right. How much did you, I have to do with that hitting and throwing to him?
I don't know how much credit I can take for the ability, but I coached him up until high school, and then kind of got out of the way. Turned it over to my brother, who was his high school coach.
Okay.
And you know, he took it from there. And of course, as a dad, you always have something to say. And as he got further into professional baseball, he stopped listening more and more. and so now he doesn't even acknowledge me. You know, he just, okay, Dad. You know. But, I don't try to give him too much. Too much more advice. He knows what he's doing, and he's surrounded by just, you know, great coaches and managers, and people know what they're saying.
But you could still be part of it. I know we see you down in spring training all the time on the field, and being able to be part of it in that way, it's got to be neat just to be part of his world.
It's neat to be around it without trying to infuse yourself or get in the way.
Yeah.
And you know, just you're secondary, but just for me, being around it, getting in spring training to meet some of the guys, and you can see why he's just so, you know, happy to be here. The locker room is just fantastic, and getting to know the Phillies personally a little bit is just very, very special.
2-1 the count to Jimmy Rollins. Now, he's been in the National League East, so you've got a chance to see him probably an awful lot play, whereas a lot of other parents would say if their kids played on the West Coast, you wouldn't get a chance to see him as often.
We're very fortunate, from Montreal to Washington to New York, and then finally here. It took a number of years to get here, but he's just, like I say, so proud to be here, be a part of this.
Well, that's it too. I mean, he grew up a Phillies fan, so when he finally signed here, that must have been pretty cool for the entire family.
Oh, it was great. It was great. There was a couple of the teams that were interested, and he kind of let us believe it was one of the other teams, and we said, well, you know, congratulations, but, you know, and then he said, oh, did I say purple? I meant red. Do you have any red outfits? So we were really ecstatic and overjoyed, and all the people from Northampton and all the family and friends that root for him, especially unless he was playing against the Phillies, now can root for him too.
With 2 outs, here's Victorino, and he takes outside and high. It's 1-0. And the other part of it too is that, you know, he's obviously your son, and now he has kids. So when we talk about being a dad, you know, he's now able to be a dad too.
He is, and I know he misses them a lot, obviously, being away on the road. And his wife Jordan does a yeoman job with the 3 young kids, and you know, we try to help out a little bit as we can, but you know, she's bearing the brunt, and when they get a little older, we're going to have a great time with them too.
You got to pitch to him too?
Absolutely, do it now. His 2-year-old has a great stroke off the tee.
Lefty?
Yeah, well, we're switch hitting a little bit.
That's good. Get him started early.
Yes, sir.
Here's the 2-0 to the switch hitting Shane Victorino, and he takes at the knees for a strike. It's 2-1. Victorino so far today is 0 for 2. Reached out a fielder's choice in the first, and he flied to center. Pete, was there a point? I mean, obviously there are joyful moments. Has there been tough moments for Brian that you guys have had to endure with him too?
Well, I think the toughest part is the injuries that he's had. He's had a hamstring. He had an infected hand. Just nothing, luckily, very major, but just the injuries and being away from baseball and away from doing what he really loves to do is tough. So you kind of gut it out with him, and all you can do is encourage him, keep working hard, and do it right, and come back on time. And when you come back, be ready to go. That's probably the toughest part, I think, of any of these guys, and any father, any of the Phillies or any of the father in the sport. I mean, you kind of live and die with your son, and my wife and I do the same thing.
3-2 the count to Victorino. And he takes ball 4. So a base runner here in the 4th, and that'll give Chase Utley a chance to take a hack. We know Brian very well. He's one of the more likable guys in the game, and even beforehand. We used to joke that Brian was always a friend of the program. Did he always, was he always baseball, or were there other sports that he would play too?
No, Brian was pretty much of a natural, real competitor, and anything he touched, he usually worked at it hard and did well. He played a lot of basketball along with baseball, and I wouldn't let him play football too early, and he took on the soccer, and it was a good conditioning sport for him. But baseball was always number one. We come from a sports family, and he naturally fell into it.
Did you play at the Naval Academy?
I did.
Did you?
I played at Northampton, and I pitched at the Naval Academy, and had some thoughts before my sophomore year of maybe coming out and doing some of this, but I decided to stay with it. My wife reminds me if I had signed and left the academy, I wouldn't have met her my senior year. And, so I've got to get off that right away.
Utley hits it in the air to left. Playable for Blake DeWitt. He's under it, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. Pete, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
always enjoy talking to you.
My pleasure. Sarge,
my pleasure. Always
you guys
pleasure.
are great.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Pete Schneider, our guest up. News, weather, and sports. It's the News at 10. That's convenient and fits your lifestyle. Tonight and every night, it's PHL 17 News at 10, powered by NBC 10. Top of the 5th, Darwin Barney leads it off, and he swings at the first pitch. Lazy fly ball to right. Then Francisco puts it away. So one pitch, one set aside here in the 5th. Oswalt allowed the 3 runs in the first. And Sarge's allowed base runners, but that's basically been it. He hasn't had great command with his off-speed stuff, but he's had enough command of his off-speed pitch.
Yeah, well, a warrior again. I mean, sometimes when you don't have your good stuff, a lot of times these guys are able to still make their pitches.
Starlin Castro takes a strike.
And you pitch that much every day that you go out there and it's your turn. You're not going to always feel great. Could always have your good stuff. Last night, Cliff Lee didn't have yesterday the curveball. Only on occasions. You know, and he talked about having a feel for it, but he was able to go to other pitches and do a great job.
Well, his cutter yesterday, I know you and I were doing the game on radio. His cutter was really good yesterday. Grounded to shortstop. Jimmy looks to backhand it, sets and fires, 2 outs. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By the Quality Plus Ford stores and by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices? 2 away for Carlos Pena. Pena's 1 for 2. He's popped to short. He's singled to right. There's a changeup that fades outside.
Well, he's looking to try and just about pull the ball every pitch. Looking at him in batting practice today, takes a different swing. Batting practice, he hits the ball the opposite way. In the games, he always seems to try and pull the ball.
Why is that?
Looking to hit home runs. You know, to be the complete hitter, you got to be able to drive the ball the other way. You can tell by what he's hitting for an average 214 and playing every day. Yeah, you know, it's just it tells me he hasn't been hitting enough balls the opposite way.
That's the kind of pitch he could take the opposite way, but didn't. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Francisco Liriano, who had a no-hitter earlier this year, is perfect through 5 against the Rangers. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Bottom of the 5th. 2-1 pitch to Pena.
Oof. He didn't miss by much. That's where he's trying to actually go, is on the outside part of the plate. He'll come in probably late, maybe off the plate. Aggressive hitters usually will swing at that.
Ball 4, and Pena's aboard for the 2nd time today, and that brings the dangerous Aramis Ramirez to the plate. Ramirez homered back in the 1st. It was a 2-run shot, and that home run for Aramis Ramirez, well, it was his 6th against Oswalt, which is the most he's had against any pitcher. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs against Oswalt. It's also the most allowed by Oswalt from any major league player. You think about that, Sarge.
Well, he ended up facing him quite a bit. Now that's a changeup, and that ball's not a bad pitch. That ball coming in, he's so strong. You didn't usually hear that sound, but he got through that ball. That ball was coming in on him, and if he had got it on the barrel, it would have been way out of here, but he put a good stroke on.
0-1 the count to Ramirez. He tied him up with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. I think it's I said think about it, because you have Albert Pujols in the Central, Prince Fielder in the Central, Ryan Braun in the Central, Alfonso Soriano in the Central. Not that Aramis Ramirez is, you know, a cast-off, but
oh no,
got some pretty good hitters.
No doubt about it. But he's a good hitter himself and used to hitting good pitching.
Well, there's the curveball from Roy Oswalt. Chase Utley with the glasses on puts it away. The side is retired. Oswalt now with 4 straight scoreless innings. He leaves one over at first. We go to the bottom of the 5th with the Phillies down 1. By Scott Palmer and the Bull, Greg Luzinski. Now, 2 of the 3 trips are already sold out, but there's a dandy that's available. It's when the Phillies go to Washington the 19th and 21st of August. And the trip includes seats to the game, brunch with us announcers, tours of the city and the ballpark, hotel accommodations, and transportation options. Visit Phillies.com/road trips for more information. Ryan Howard starts the 5th against Doug Davis. And he lays off a curveball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Howard's 2 for 2. Howard takes a fastball, and it's 2-0. When Davis doesn't get that fastball over, does he become an easier hitter? Is it differ from inning to inning with him?
Well, for me, I would just try and take one part of the plate. Doesn't throw hard enough. Actually, you keep throwing that ball by you consistently. That ball was inside on him, but you got to stay one way or the other. You know, if you're looking for that breaking ball, you look for it up to 2 strikes, then you make the adjustment. But for a left-handed hitter, you got to know the break, where it's going to start in order for it maybe to be a strike.
That's a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Well, the adjustment for the Cubs right now is that Barney's deeper in shallow right, the second baseman. You just saw him. Fukudome is over toward the alley more, so the right field line is wide open. I mean, he's really deep.
Yeah. Line drive, though, if he's going to be able to get it through. See, and that's why, again, for me, I mean, a major league hitter, even though he is almost a dead pull hitter, he does hit some balls to left field. I'd force it sometimes just to try and straighten that defense out. It's a good at bat.
Ball 4, Howard's aboard, and it brings Francisco to the plate, who's walked twice today.
Right, you see how they're pitching him, too. They'll get those strikes on him and try and get the ball close, and hope he'll go on and swing and get himself out. That's because of those scouting reports that they get around. Hey, this guy's been swinging at a lot of balls in the dirt. Don't have to form a strike. 3-2. Got to make them throw you a strike.
Cubs will get some bullpen action as Francisco takes low and inside. 1-0. They had Rodrigo Lopez up before. Now they have a lefty, John Grabo. And a right-hander, it looks like it's Jeff Samardzija.
You know, Ben's kind of leaning there when on that outside pitch. Again, if he was closer, he wouldn't have to do that, and that ball would look a little better to him. That's what I mean about taking away part of that plate where you're only worried about that outside.
That's off his foot, and it's 1-2. So by hugging the plate, you got the inside covered anyway, because you're there, but then you cover the outside.
Right, so you know you don't have to lean over to see whether or not it's a strike and you're going to be off balance. That's just taking away part of the plate from him. Guys like Tommy John and Randy Jones, that's the way they would pitch. Same similar way.
Little cue shot to the right of the mound. Davis slides, falls, gets the out at first. One 3 on the putout, and there is one away here in the 5th.
Take a look at this as Ben hits it off the end of the bat. There's a pitch on the outside. Davis smothers the ball and just throws it to first, making a pretty good play out of it. Smothering it, making sure it doesn't go by. Didn't have a great grip. Knew he had plenty of time.
Well, he's about to hit the century mark with his pitches. Here's Ibanez, who had an RBI single his last time up.
I don't get it.
You don't get that swing on that pitch, or how long that swing was.
Well, he's got a long swing, but he's been shortening up that swing. You got to stay consistent with it. It's a guy. Yeah, I mean, everybody has different ways that you hit. You almost want him to jam you, and then your ability will make sure that you get that bat through the zone.
Howard's over at second with one out. And Ibanez hit it the opposite way. Foul. Out of play. And it remains 1-2. Warm afternoon here on Sunday, Father's Appreciation Day. All the dads received that cap compliments of Chevy. It's another sellout. Folks just soaking it in. 4 more games left on this homestand. Phillies are 4-2 so far on the homestand. And now it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, at times, all these kind of pitchers can be difficult to hit if you don't have patience, because they don't mind throwing a ball in the dirt and up, and they're counting on you to get yourself out. Well, they don't want to have to throw a lot of strikes.
Just picked up another strikeout. That's his 5th of the game. Second time he's gotten Ibanez, and there are 2 outs. You talk about a comfortable offer with some pitchers. This would be a frustrating offer, wouldn't it?
Well, you would just go home and be thinking, boy, how did I miss that? But you see where the location is. Ibanez swinging at that pitch as if that pitch is on the inside part of the plate. That's why you got to take that shoulder right toward that pitcher and stay on the ball.
Ruiz takes a strike. Carlos is 0 for 2. He hit it hard his first time up, lined out to Ramirez, then struck out with the bases loaded in the 3rd.
Oh, boy. I got to tell you, that's almost like you don't even see the ball. Ruiz told him to check the ball or something, and he just didn't like the movement of that pitch, obviously fooling him. You don't have to really almost look for a fastball, because the fastball he's throwing is almost as if it's a changeup.
Ruiz is down swinging for the 2nd time this afternoon. 6 strikeouts in the ball game for Doug Davis. A leadoff walk for the Phils is wasted. We go to the 6th here in Philadelphia. The Phils down 1. Of the week is rolling along towards the middle of the season.
Purely dominating in his last 2 starts, Cliff Lee's arm has heated up right as the Phillies are heading into the summer months. Following his last start, he sat atop the strikeout leaders in the major leagues, and his ERA continues to drop. The left-hander's 4-game win streak at Citizens Bank Park has come at the right time, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Cliff Lee not only pitched well yesterday, but the Phillies scored 7 runs for him. Meanwhile, here on Sunday, Roy Oswalt hasn't pitched badly, but the Phillies have scored just 2 runs for him. And that seems to be an ongoing theme with Oswalt out on the mound.
Yeah, well, they've had opportunities. That's been the good thing. Bad thing, haven't been able to actually get that big hit as of yet.
Well, they are 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position today. They've left 8 through the first 5.
Well, just one time in one of those hits with the bases loaded, have a chance to get things going.
2-1 the count to Blake DeWitt, who leads off the 6th. So Sarge now counting today. In Oswalt's last 7 starts, the Phillies have scored 15 runs. Not done yet, but got him out in front. Valdez lays back on it. 1 away. Hey, follow your favorite Phillies player and donate to a great cause at the same time. Phillies Charities introduces an easy new fundraising program open to fans in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Select the player and stat that you'd like to follow. Pick your pledge increment. Choose where the money will go to from 4 different Phillies Charities beneficiaries. Supporting Phillies Charities has never been easier. See the community section at Phillies.com for details. Tyler Colin is flied out twice. Once to shallow left for Rollins, the other time to center. Oswalt and Ruiz. And if you could have made money on coming up with that idea of talking into your gloves so nobody would see it on the cameras, make a fortune. If there was money to be made for something like that.
Well, I mean, you really almost can't tell what they're saying anyway from that far distance. And usually the hitter's not even looking. They're talking more location than anything else. Nobody's on base, so you don't have to worry about anybody, stealing the signs and giving them to the batter.
Cameras are everywhere, though, Sarge.
Well,
swing and a miss, 2-2.
You're right.
Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oswalt has 1 strikeout today. That was back in the first to start the game. And that was his career strikeout number 1,700. And Ruiz hangs on to it. Another strikeout, 2 away. 17:01. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies Charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. Oswalt's done it once so far. Here's Coy Hill. Takes outside. Cubs have not shown anybody in the on deck circle just yet. Pitcher spot is due up next. And B.J. LeMahieu now comes out in the on deck circle as Jeff Samardzija continues to loosen in the pen.
Those veteran pitchers who are able to do a lot of them, and especially guys that have had success.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Oswalt. 3 now in the ball game, and the side is retired in order. We've played 5.5. Now Oswalt looking for his team to generate some offense. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Well, Father's Appreciation Day here at the ballpark. The Phillies trail it by 1. Final game against the Cubs. Doug Davis is gone after 5. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4. Here's Jeff Samardzija, who will take over for Chicago as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Total opposite ends of the spectrum as far as pitchers go. One's a righty, whereas Davis was a lefty. Davis's fastball probably topped off at 84 miles an hour. Samardzija's will be in the mid-90s.
Yeah, well, you got to have that location. I mean, Davis not throwing very hard, but the way he's looking at it, only gave up 2 runs. So he's feeling that he had a pretty good outing. Well, pitcher give up only 2 runs. And what did he pitch? 5 innings?
5 innings. Walked 4.
Oh, boy.
5 walks. I'm sorry, 5 walks. As Valdez takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Phillies had the bases loaded twice against Doug Davis and didn't score. 2 for 8 right now with runners in scoring position. Here's the 0-1 pitch coming to Valdez. Popped it up right side of the infield. Darwin Barney calls off Carlos Pena. 1 away. And Oswalt will bat here in the 6th. He's just shy of 100 pitches for the day. He's 0 for 2. He's struck out twice.
But you're right about that. Big difference. His fastball is right around that 93, 94 type range.
Is that a big deal going from one style to this style?
Well, you know that it's I mean, altogether different pitcher, so you'll gear up for him for the hard stuff. I mean, with Davis striking out 6, they probably are hoping somebody else is coming in there to throw. No, I just take my chances on Davis. No, it doesn't guarantee either that you're going to get hits when you're moving up, but it gives you a better chance. Thought he had too much of a target both inside and outside to throw to today. And you know, to his credit, even though he loaded the bases a couple of times, only giving up 2 runs, it's pretty good.
2-2 the count to Oswalt, and he stays alive. He fouls it back. Off the hands. He'll stay alive with that one. There's a young fan down there right there. He had it and then dropped it. And fortunately somebody was nice enough to give it back to him. Crowd moaned with it.
Demonstrating how we backhand the ball.
I think he was trying to say that his glove wasn't really on. He couldn't really grab the ball.
When you talk about predictable pitches, this should be a fastball that Oswalt would get here. See what he throws.
It is a fastball and a called strike 3. That pitch looked low, and Oswalt thought it was low. But there are 2 outs.
Yeah, it was down in the zone, though. But again, Alan Porter's been calling the low pitch. Take a look at it as it comes in. That ball's too low. Plain and simple. Now, he has been calling low pitches. Called Fukudomi out on one in the very first inning. But yeah, that ball's low. But as a pitcher, you're going to go out and Charlie want to say something to him.
I think somebody was just thrown out of the ball game. I'm assuming it was Charlie because he came running out to say something. I don't think it was Oswalt. Alan Porter not saying much as Charlie's coming out to argue. And now the second base umpire, Gary Cedarson, the crew chief, coming out.
Yeah, he's not going to let him get to, his umpire. And there you see an umpire actually taking the brunt of the heat from one of his members.
Can't argue balls and strikes. Charlie must have been saying something, and Alan Porter threw him out, so now Charlie's going to get his money's worth.
Well, you know what, too? Give credit to Allen being able to walk away and not even get into that. Cedarstrom again getting in the middle of it. Well, I think you might be right.
He's still hot. There's Charlie barking at that pitch, and that's what he's been thrown out of the game. Sunglasses off. Whoop. Rollins looked around to see who it was that was thrown out. So he's up with 2 outs. And he swings at the first pitch. Floats one to center. Colvin's there. Puts it away. And the side is retired. Sarge, you didn't have a lot of productive offensive opportunities while you were sitting here.
No, not at all. Hope we can get some more coming back.
Time for the Verizon Wireless game summary. The story of this game really is opportunities by the Phillies that were not able to cash in so far. And as a result, trailed by a run. Cubs hit Roy Oswalt and the Phillies with a 3 spot in the first inning. Aramis Ramirez's 2-run home run, a 6 against Roy. He has gone 6 innings. He will start the 7th inning. Ryan Howard with an RBI double. But Phillies twice with the bases loaded and 1 out and strikeouts followed, and then an out after that. So that's the story of the game right now. I mean, you can go back and forth with different things, but that's it.
Phillies have left 8 so far. Tony Campagna leads it off as a pinch hitter for the Cubs. He's batting for Samardzija, and he takes low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. See Campagna's numbers because of all the injuries the Cubs have had. They've had to use some of their youngsters. Sean Marshall's up and loosening in the pen for Chicago. Phillies have gotten to him in this series, and he's gotten to them on 2 different occasions.
Yeah, yesterday they hit him with a couple runs in a big spot, and with their left-handed hitters at home plate too. So, you know, they're going to go back to him. There is J.C. Romero up in the Phillies bullpen.
3-1 the count. On the outside corner, 3-2.
This guy can really run if he gets on, so you certainly want to make him hit his way on, not walking.
He has 144 stolen bases in 4 years in the minor leagues. He slaps it down the left field line foul.
You see just by that kind of swing that's the type of hitter he is. He's a little slap hitter who tries to slap it, get on base, and then hurt you with his speed.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, an update from Minnesota. And Francisco Liriano has allowed a base runner, but he's got a no-hitter through 7. He's trying to pitch his second no-hitter of the year. He walked a lot in his last one. 3-2 pitch. In the air. Shallow left center. Rollins sprints back. He's there, makes the catch. 1 away. Check out the Phillies Authentic Store at Citizens Bank Park, located on the main concourse behind Section 133. The store features authenticated game-used items and autographed memorabilia. New items are added each homestand. For a list of available items and for more information, email merch@phillies.com. There are some of the items. They include a Carlos Ruiz locker placard right there, and the Roy Halladay no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds. It's a ticket stub, a picture autographed by Roy, and then the lineup card that Pete Buchanan and Charlie Manuel use, a replica of it in the dugout.
Here's a guy that pitched 2 no-hitters in the same season. Not the well, it was the same year, not the same season, because one's post-game. Roy Halladay, perfect game and a no-hitter with 1 base runner in postseason.
0-2 pitch. Low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Roosevelt's done a heck of a job after that first inning, too, of getting deep into this ball game and giving his team a chance to win.
Just not scoring for him.
Well, that was part of what we talked about earlier. He's not overpowering anybody, and that necessarily isn't his game anymore. But all of a sudden, he started to spot his fastball a lot better as the game went along, and now he can mix in his other stuff and be more effective. Here's a fastball, goes away. And, whether it was a strike or not, he got ahead, and then he chases.
29 pitches in the first, but since then, he has been right on the money. And with 2 outs, here's Darwin Barney.
Well, the Cubs are not a patient hitting team. They will swing. And, he started to get his pitches close to the strike zone, and they've been hacking at him.
Barney singled and scored in the first, grounded out and popped out, and he takes a strike 2. And all of a sudden, his fastball, not only is the command better, but the velocity has consistently been at 91.
Yeah, and people say, well, his velocity's down. No, it isn't. Not necessarily. If he can spot his fastball at 91, 92, somewhere in there, that's about what he is now. I think when he tops out, it's 93. But if he puts it in good spots, his other stuff's, right there, and he can get you out like that.
Another strikeout. 5 strikeouts overall, 4 in the last 2 innings. He retires the side in order once again. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. He's set down 7 in a row, and he is picking up the K's. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia quiz. The answer and the question once again: name the Cub who was intentionally walked 5 times in a game by the Reds to set an MLB record.
I mean, can we go to an era at least?
Well, the era is recent.
Recent?
Yep.
Sosa?
Good guess. That's a good guess, Wheels. That is a good guess.
Yeah, but obviously
it's
wrong with
incorrect.
that buzzer going.
It's not that recent.
All right, one more chance.
He was an MVP.
Ernie Banks. Billy Williams.
Recent? That's not recent.
Oh, recent. Oh, recent. Oh, recent.
It was more my youth than yours. He wore a very colorful hat at one point.
I don't know. I can't get this one. Who was it?
Andre Dawson.
Oh, sure. Of course. The Hawk.
May 22nd, 1990.
Right. He was the MVP on a last place team.
Right. He wore a very colorful hat in Montreal.
When he was with Montreal. Right.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Trying to make more out of it than was there.
At any point when I said he wore a colorful hat, did you think it was Sarge?
No, because I knew Sarge was a heck of a player, but I knew he won an MVP.
Huh, that's true.
He's an MVP to us.
National League Championship Series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But, not season. Sarge is the most valuable person, though, to all of us who know him, but not in the league at one time.
Sean Marshall is the new pitcher for the Cubs.
Especially the way he can get you on a golf course.
The way he could literally get you on a golf course.
Yeah. He's amazing. The man has a huge number of contacts.
As he always tells us, Wheels, if you're nice to people,
right.
They'll give you some nice things.
Right. And he must be nice to people.
He's our Radar O'Reilly is what he is.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good definition.
So Marshall will face Victorino, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard. Now, yesterday the Phillies got to Sean Marshall. And in fact, their lefties got to Marshall. Here, the right-handed hitting Victorino leads it off. Yesterday, Victorino doubled in his first at bat against Marshall.
Well, they're going right back to the same guys that hurt him yesterday. But he was part of it because he doubled and then Shane got him over, and then a base hit by Ryan Howard. They had a run.
Now, yesterday, Victorino hit one right inside the third base bag, literally right inside the bag.
Well, it's late innings. It's a one-run game, so they're guarding the line and remembering yesterday.
Inside 2-1.
But they wouldn't be that close to the line if the score weren't the way that it was.
Even after the ball he hit yesterday basically hugged the bag?
Sure, because if it's a 2 or a 3-run game, you don't want to give up a single. The double means something here. A single doesn't.
2-1 the count. Ooh, look out. Oh. That one flying into the stands and hit one of the photographers sitting in the first row, and then that gentleman caught it behind her.
Right on the shoulder.
I hope she's okay.
Boy.
She just showed her hand to the usher down there, to Debbie the usher.
Man. Thankfully, she must have gotten the hand up in time to deflect it. Wow. They're down there looking through those lenses, and sometimes they can't see stuff coming at them. There she is.
Hope her camera's okay, too.
I think it hit her hand.
I think it did, too.
I think you're right, Tom, that her hand went up and that deflected it. My goodness.
Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Victorino. That one hit Victorino right in the foot. So he's aboard to start the 7th.
Yeah, Marshall didn't want to do that. He threw a curveball and hit it. So they get a base runner out of it.
This is Marshall's 6th appearance in this road trip for the Cubs. And these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
Now, Chase Utley's going to go hole hunting on that right side if he can. Hit a ball through there and see if he can get Shane to third and get a first and third out of this. Marshall probably will try and stay away from him with everything to try and make it harder to do that, to pull the ball. But he did a great job of pulling the ball yesterday off Marshall to get Victorino to third base. You'd be surprised if you don't see Hill set up away.
Marshall before yesterday had an 18 2/3 scoreless streak on the road, and the Phillies ended that. Utley shows bunt.
Unlikely he's bunting.
There's the Chase Utley puppet that is now for sale here at the ballpark. There's not only a puppet, but there's also a stuffed animal. So there are two different versions of that doll.
That's more words than he says in a week. That puppet just said.
Breaking ball drops in for strike one. It's 1-1. That was a slider.
This guy can really lock you with his breaking ball. And he has two of them. As you said, that's a slider, and he also has that big old roundhouse curveball. That's a pitch he hit Victorino in the foot with.
Victorino leads off first. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Really tough for a left-hand hitter to keep the shoulder in on this guy. And he just keeps coming at you with breaking balls. That was another hard breaking ball, probably a slider.
The catcher Coy Hill has only thrown out 3 base runners trying to steal this year. Victorino has not inched off too far from the first base bag. The 1-2 pitch. A line drive toward right field. Over is Fukudome. It's over his head. A 1-hop off the wall. Victorino stops at third. Utley's at second. And yeah, his timing is coming back.
I think he got a fastball to hit too, which is shocking. The way he was throwing that nasty breaking ball, you really didn't think he'd throw a fastball, but maybe the element of surprise, and Chase made him pay for it because it was up. Tomahawked it a little bit. Here it is right here. It's supposed to be fastball away, and what is it? Fastball middle in. And bam! He did tomahawk, and he just got a real quick swing at it. And it hooked so fast that Fukudome couldn't get to it. It looked at first like Fukudome was going to cut that thing off and hold him to a single, but no.
That's partly why Victorino was holding up between first and second. He had to make sure that was going over the head of Fukudome.
Absolutely, Tom, because for a while when that ball first went out there, it was not necessarily going to get past him or even maybe not be caught in the air, but he was so deep he couldn't get to it, nor could he cut off the angle.
Right-hander Kerry Wood, he's been up a bunch of times in this series, has not appeared.
Now they'll play the infield back here. It's only the 7th inning, and even though they're on the road, if we're the 8th inning, they might play it in. 9th inning, they definitely would. But in this situation, see, they're back. Contact here to the middle of the diamond anywhere gets you a tie game. And Victorino and Utley, and it also would get Utley to third base if he can hit it the right side.
The one hit against Marshall, excuse me, Wheels.
Yesterday.
Yep.
Was that big hit yesterday, Tommy?
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
And this is one of those situations I talked about earlier when people say a strikeout is just an out. No, it isn't. It's not the same as any out, because here contact can maybe win a game for you if you get him in, get him over.
See Ryan with 17 go-ahead RBIs. That would be the go-ahead RBI right there. Utley lays off 2 balls and no strikes. Yesterday, he fell behind. Ryan Howard did. Fell behind Marshall and then was able to work the count back into his favor.
Went to 3-2, and then he didn't throw the nasty breaking ball to him. He threw one more in the strike zone, trying to get a strike, and if he got the strikeout, good, and Ryan nailed it to right field.
2 balls, no strikes, the count. Phillies trail at 3-2. They have the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. Little nubber up the first base line.
where Pena's going to play again. Now, he was even with the bag. See where the middle infielders are. Ramos Ramirez in front of the bag a little bit, and Pena now behind the bag. He's a very good first baseman, a very good throwing first baseman. Whether they would risk coming home, see, unlikely. Unless it's just a bullet.
Back toward the middle. That's going to sneak into center field, a base hit, and the Phillies will take the lead. It's another base hit for Howard against a left-hander. It's 4-3 Phillies.
Boy, that was a nice piece of hitting by Ryan Howard there. He must be seeing Marshall a little bit better, seeing the ball better, because those are good swings that he had. You know, sure, he hits it off the end of the bat. Sure, he doesn't hit it that hard. But the point is, he makes contact here on this slider off the end of the bat. They didn't have the three-man shift on for him, as you showed earlier. So there's a hole right here, right through. It's not going that fast. Easy to score 2 runs on that. A terrific at bat by Howard there.
And Placido Polanco is going to pitch hit for Ben Francisco. With nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th.
You know, they're just going to hit. They're just, you know, it's a right-handed hitter. I don't think they would bunt with him, because Francisco is as good a bunter, is a good bunter also.
Just like this matchup better.
Right. They just like the matchup better. Exactly.
Rodrigo Lopez in gray ball. Terry Wood is sat down, trailing at 4-3. Well, he's warmed up a lot. We haven't seen him at all in this series.
And if they'd have brought the right-handed pitcher in at that point, they're okay with Polanco facing him.
He got it into his kitchen. It's a foul ball that Pena gets under to make the grab, and there's 1 out. So 1 away here in the 7th. That'll bring Ibanez to the plate. Phillies 4 runs on 7 hits now. The Cubs 3 runs on 5 hits.
Howard, not the greatest guy at first to third, but those outfielders are deep, especially in center and right. If he pulls this, ball's hit the left, he's not going to third anyway. See how they're playing, how deep Fukudome is in right field.
Ibanez tried to hold. They'll appeal. No swing, says Adrian Johnson. 2-0. Ibanez 3 for 9 against Sean Marshall. One of those hits came yesterday. It was an RBI double, misplayed by Blake DeWitt in left. There's Blake DeWitt over in left.
Yeah, he played that like an infielder yesterday. You know, he got caught in between and then allowed the ball to get past him. And he is an infielder playing the outfield and doing a pretty good job for them, too. They want to keep his bat in the lineup. They're going to get a few guys back off the DL, they think, starting early next week.
Yeah, Soriano was supposed to start a rehab today in Iowa, but it was raining in Iowa, so they weren't sure if he was going to play. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ibanez.
Supposed to get Reed back, too, who is an outfielder.
He got hit in the head, though, in this rehab assignment.
Oh, was that right?
With a pitch, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'd heard he was going to hopefully be back early next week. That could set you back.
Could set you back.
Oh. Boy, these are the nasty breaking balls he's throwing now, and Ibanez is pulling off, and he just can't get to them.
He got to that one. A roller to second, could be 2. Barney to second for 1. Castro to first, not in time. Ibanez legged it out and beat the throw. Hey, if you're interested in submitting a question to the PHL 17 post-game show, you can do so right now. Then get your answers to your questions, plus all of today's highlights from John, Mike, Marty, and Colleen. Phillies post-game show live from Sugar House Casino. That's coming up next.
Michael Stutz in the bullpen. Whether or not he's going to start the 8th inning or whether they're waiting to see whether they get to Oswald or not, we shall see. But Roy, how about the job he did after the 1st inning? Kept it right there.
And they've gotten him some runs.
Well, now they've taken the lead. And that's a veteran starting pitcher. A lot of times they'll have trouble in the 1st inning and teams will score some runs and then they'll settle down. You don't get a whole lot off them, and that's what happened today.
Want to know the count to Ruiz. He has struck out twice today.
Swing is really long today. And Chooch is the first one to tell you that when he's hitting well, his swing's a lot shorter. But look how long his swing has been this afternoon.
Two and one the count to Ruiz.
Tom mentioned earlier in the inning, third baseman Ramirez is guarding the line. They're still trying to stay away from an extra base hit here. And there he is, and with a left-handed pitcher. Balls can go down the line with a right-handed hitter a lot easier.
He does have a low strike zone. I think we've established that today.
Well, it got Charlie listening to the game in his office.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Ruiz. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes for the 3rd time today. And the side is retired. Phillies, though, get 2 on a 2-run base hit by Ryan Howard. He has a 3 RBI day. We go to the 8th with the Phillies up by 1. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds and buy Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Well, we go to the 8th inning. Roy Oswalt is done, and the Phillies have the lead. Boy, what a job by Oswalt today. After he allowed the 3 runs in the 1st, he didn't allow anything else. And man, was he cooking. He retired the last 7 batters that he faced, 4 on strikeouts. And now, as Dominic Brown settles into right field in place of Ben Francisco, Michael Stutz will settle in on the mound in place of Oswalt. 21st game for Stutz. A 2.55 ERA.
It shows you where he has come as far as the way that they trust Michael Stutz now. That this is a role they'd like to have a veteran like Contreras in, but you know he's been a little bit shaky lately, and they really can't put him in this spot. So Pete McCannon, the acting manager right now, Rich Doobie, Charlie Manuel, they're all figuring out where they want to go with the bullpen. And in this case, they will start with Stutz and have Romero up in the bullpen as a left-hander. Maybe Bastardo is not available today, and then close with Madsen. Now we're just guessing that that's the way that they're thinking, but you know, there's Romero, and you think you would have Bastardo if he were available.
3 straight days for Antonio Bastardo, including yesterday as Starlin Castro swings at the first pitch. A pop-up into foul territory. Ryan Howard makes the catch. One away.
That's what we talked about the Cubs. They are very, very aggressive. Seen enough of them now in 4 games, and they will swing if the pitch is near the strike zone.
That is one animated guy.
Yeah.
Mike Quaddy. I mean, you look at him a lot during a game, and he kind of shows his emotion. Like there, it was almost as if, I don't know why he swung at the first pitch. It's a new pitcher. I don't know.
I know you're going to ask me later, and I don't know. And did I tell him not to? Well, do I have to tell major league players all the time that they shouldn't do something? That's sometimes you get that feeling from managers. And the answer is sometimes, depending on the guy, yeah, you do have to tell them.
I don't know.
Did we put a take on? Why would he do that? He never swings and misses, so he got a chance to pop it up foul. But for the Phillies, that was sweet.
No swing by Carlos Pena, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Of course, the Phillies are going to bat Dominic Brown 9th in the order with the change.
So he's due up second in the bottom of the 8th. It's 2-0 to Pena. Pena today is 1 for 2. He's popped out to short, singled, and he's walked. And a foul ball, and it's 2-1.
That was a pitcher worried about a little bit there with him ahead in the count and looking to hit the ball out. You want to stay away from him. He's a pull hitter, and he's thinking about a home run every swing, it looks like. That was low. I guess it was too low.
So now 3 balls and 1 strike to Pena.
They're going fastball again.
And he fouled it away. Fouled it off the glove of Carlos Ruiz. It's 3-2.
These Phillies went into a 3-man overshift in the count that time. They normally don't. You don't see them do a lot of that, but Jimmy Rollins was over here earlier and now has moved over, and you see where he is now, and he did it with the count. See how they did that?
It's kind of like we saw the Pirates do with Ibanez.
Yeah.
Got him. Blew a fastball right on by him. More because of location than anything else, but there are 2 outs here in the 8th.
And because he's trying to hit a home run, Tommy. You know, we mentioned that early in the count. He opens up and he's trying to hit the ball in the ballpark. So don't throw him anything here. Stay in this area. And where is it? It's out there. And that's a tough pitch to pull and hit a home run because you're opened up so much you can't get to it. And a good job by Ruiz and Stutz to pitch him the correct way.
Here's Aramis Ramirez, waves at a slider. He was thinking fastball on the first pitch, and he got a slider.
Another good idea. Throw a first ball breaking ball.
Ramirez today has a 2-run home run. He's also flied to right, popped to second. The 0-1 pitch. Another slider. 0-2.
Opening up, trying to hit it out of the ballpark. That's the way the game's played nowadays, it seems like. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong with power hitters in a 1-run game, but you're very vulnerable to punch-outs when you do that.
Well, let's see if Stutz goes back to the well one more time. 0-2 the count. He did. Swung on and missed 3 straight sliders. One was farther outside than the other. It's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Michael Stutz. 7 strikeouts overall for Philly pitching. 6 in the last 3 innings. Look at the location of that pitch. Ramirez never had a chance. He's thinking fastball, and all he got were sliders. Wednesday, June 15th. It's a split day-night doubleheader against the Florida Marlins. Game 1 at 1:05. That's the rescheduled game from April 16th. So if you have tickets and you haven't exchanged them yet, you can use them for that day. It's Game 8 on your ticket stub. And there are seats still available if you don't hold tickets for that ball game. And then the 7:05 game is the originally scheduled ball game against the Marlins. Again, limited seats are available for both of those games. The day-night doubleheader here at Citizens Bank Park. Well, Michael Stutz really did a fantastic job in his half of the 8th inning. He got 2 strikeouts. Pretty impressive.
Give the guy some credit next to him, too. Not Scott Sheridan, who does a terrific job, but Carlos Ruiz, because they stayed away from Pena, stayed away when he was trying to pull the ball, and then they went all breaking balls with a guy swinging for the fences in Ramirez and got him to chase. Very good job by both of them.
So now we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's somewhat of a surprising move, and we don't see the Cubs on an everyday basis. But instead of Kerry Wood or somebody like that, it's Rodrigo Lopez who's pitching for Chicago. Cubs trail it by 1. Speaking of bullpens, there's Ryan Matson back in the saddle, getting ready to pitch the 9th. It'll be Valdez, Brown, and then the top of the order for the Phillies. And Valdez hits it in the air to right center. And Colvin makes the catch, 1 away. Time now for the Coors Light freeze can, Wheels.
Well, we want to look at Chase Utley and some of these swings that he's had. This is yesterday when he doubles in the 1st inning. Look at him barrel that thing and nail it the other way. Now here's the home run down and in, just drops a head on it, hit it out to right field. And then big hit today off Marshall. He got the barrel on that one too, on a fastball on the middle part of the plate and nails it to right field. 3 really good swings by Chase Utley, who's starting to look like Chase Utley again.
Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brew. Coors Light. Well, they're trying to figure out who the new pitcher is going to be for the Cubs. John Graybo thought he was coming in, but then realized, well, I didn't see anybody signal. So, you know, Mike Quaddy's out on the mound, and he's talking and talking, and somebody said, hey, you're going to make a pitching change? He said, I already did. And he goes, come on in.
Well, he is demonstrative.
He is.
You pointed that out.
So we have a pitching change here in the 8th inning. It's an AT&T. All to the bullpen. Down. Dominic Brown will get a chance to bat for the first time today. He'll do so against John Graybo, the new pitcher for the Cubs, and the first pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Dominic Brown came on to replace Ben Francisco in right after Francisco was pinch hit for. Graybo in his 27th game. Lefties are hitting just 186 against him. And that's a one hopper that spins right to Darwin Barney, and there are 2 outs. So 2 away, back to the top of the order. Jimmy Rollins will hit against John Graybo after the ground out to second by Dominic Brown and the fly ball to center by Wilson Valdez. Jimmy's 1 for 4 in this ball game. Takes outside. There's Matson getting himself ready. Way outside with that next pitch. 2-1 the count to Rollins. Rollins lifted in the air to left. It's not deep. Here comes Blake DeWitt. He makes the catch. The side is retired. The Phillies go down in order here in the 8th. So that means it's time for the 9th. The Phillies, just like game 1, have a 1-run lead, and they'll turn the ball over to Ryan Matson. He'll hand the ball off to Ryan Matson as we go to the top of the 9th with the Phillies up 4-3. Matson trying to close out his 15th ball game. He has one blown save. It came in the opener of this series against the Cubs. A lot of questions afterward to Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie about whether they still trust Matson as the closer. Rich Doobie just laughed and he said, well, yeah. And you know, he's been really good. Matson has. And
it happens.
It happens. There's Doobs.
Just hope it doesn't happen too often. That's all.
Well, Blake DeWitt will be the first batter against Ryan Matson here in the 9th. In the 9th inning in the first game of this series, Matson got the first batter DeWitt on a ground out. Then Giovanni Soto homered. And that tied the ball game up. And we went to 12 innings. I should say 11 innings before the Cubs won it. So DeWitt 1 for 3 today. And he swings at the first pitch and he fouls it back just to our left.
Cohen, the guy on deck, is the hitter who hit the ball out of the ballpark. Everybody thought, and then when Charlie Manuel asked for the appeal, they overturned it and changed it to a double. There he is.
0-1 the count to Blake DeWitt. 0-2 the count. 94 in a perfect spot.
Matson couldn't spot his fastball in the game the other night, and as a result, he got hurt.
Cubs have not had a hit since the 3rd. And it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Brad Lidge, who continues to rehab, is hoping to be back with the Phillies before the All-Star break at some point.
That was a nice job by Stutz today.
It really was. Sitting next to a guy who has a darn good slider. Stutz showed a very good slider today.
Yep.
Roller to first base. Howard has it. He'll take it to the bag himself. One away here in the ninth. That's 11 in a row retired by Phillies pitching.
Here's that play Thursday. It was just out over the plate, and here's his fan reaching over. Then it hit him on the wrist and flipped back into fair territory. And then after the review, sent him back to second. Mike Quaddy wasn't happy. Charlie just said, "That's good. That works for me. I'm going back to the dugout."
And Mike Quaddy was more unhappy about obviously the call than anything else as Colvin fouls it back. Oh, nice catch by a fan. It brought a glove to the game.
That group down there had just gotten the ball on a deflection on the ball hit by DeWitt. That section's getting peppered over there.
So 0-1 the count to Colvin. Matson ready again.
Boy, they deep in the outfield.
Fly ball down the left field line. That'll slice out of play. It's 0-2.
They're willing to let a dunker out there right now for a single, but not an extra base hit.
Mentioned Mike Quaddy was upset about the call the other day, and you know the defense was much like this that night as they're deep all the way around. In fact, Victorino's really deep in center, but he was upset because he thought the replay was somewhat inconclusive from what we understand. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 95 with the fastball. 2 outs here in the ninth.
And there's the advantage. You get ahead of a guy, you throw one a little bit out of the strike zone, they may chase, and that's what he did. Ryan got ahead of him, then threw a fastball away, probably a ball, but Colvin chased it. 2 outs. See for yourself right here if this isn't a little bit off the plate. Tough to tell from that angle, but I think it was. Doesn't matter. He's gone.
And they stay with Coy Hill instead of Giovanni Soto, who's on deck. And a swing and a miss and a changeup. Now they only have 3 extra men left, including Soto. There he is.
So they're hoping Soto's the guy that comes up that could give them the lead since they're on the road. They're hoping Coy Hill can get on, and then Soto would be the potential for that with the shortage of extra men especially.
0-1 the count to Hill. Little low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yesterday they designated Brad Snyder for assignment, so he was the 5th extra man, and they went with an extra pitcher out of the pen. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. That had cutter actions, but it was a straight 4-seam fastball, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, now they can go a few different ways with him. Change up maybe down and away, or throw a high fastball.
It's 1-2.
They're going away.
Fly ball foul on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The no-hitter is over with. The Twins lead it 6-1 at the top of the ninth. Adrian Beltre broke up the no-hitter for Francisco Liriano. Still a whale of a game for him.
Yeah.
Here it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hill. The pitch. Grounder right side, and it's going to sneak into right field. A base hit. He didn't even take a full swing.
That looked like a. Boy, he didn't throw. So it looked like that cutter, and it was up. You know, we thought he'd probably go change up or high fastball there, and they decided to go cutter. Give Hill credit. He gets it through the hole, but the pitch was up in the zone.
So now 2 outs and a runner on first. Here's Giovanni Soto.
Well, they got what they wanted. They get the base runner. And here's Soto hitting the home run the other night on fastball. Line drive and into the first row out there. And it got out in a hurry.
They're thinking about pitch running now for Coy Hill. So they're going to use 2 extra men here. DJ LeMahieu is going to come on a pinch run. Soto was going to stay in the ball game anyway if we went to the bottom of the ninth to catch. So here is Soto with 4 homers this year, including 1 in this series against Matson. Valdez way over toward the line at third, and the pitch. A fastball on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
Wow. And he's taking the first pitch too. Hey, Banez is on the warning track. That's your no, don't hit it over my head defense.
Dominic Brown is the shallowest of the three, and he's deep. Tried to go to the same spot and just missed that time. It's 1-1.
Surprised they come in, in the middle part of the plate into this guy, because that's where they kind of hurt him the other night. Get outside. Oh,
he tried to get it outside. He threw 96 inside and high.
Totally missed his spot with an adrenaline rush fastball there.
Soto, the former Rookie of the Year in the National League. Uh-oh. Down the left field line, hooking, foul. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, he's right. There's another cutter. Man, stay away from him. Well, I don't know if that was even in that zone we're worried about. They're trying to get away from him. Oh, man. Yeah, that's what it was, and too much of the plate.
Just a long strike.
That's all it was, Tommy. That was an ooh-ah ball.
2-2, the count to Soto with a runner at first. Matson's ready.
Ooh-ah ball.
Little fly ball, shallow right field. Utley is out, and he makes the catch.
Wow.
What a play by Chase Utley to finish up the ball game. Wow, is he getting back comfortable again?
No way Dominic Brown can catch that. We just showed you the no doubles, don't hit it over my head defense. That had Dunker written all over. What a play.
He's had himself a heck of a series as the Phillies take 3 of 4 from the Chicago Cubs. They just showed the play again, just as we're showing the play again. Look at all the ground Utley covered to make that catch.
Yeah, because he had a lot of ground to cover, because there's nobody going to catch that other than Chase Utley. And Ryan Madson had a lot of emotion from him right there, especially after that cutter hook foul.
Save number 15 for Ryan Madson. Phillies have taken 3 of 4 from the Cubs. Ryan Howard, our Chevrolet player of the game, his 18th go-ahead RBI of the year. He was 3 for 3 with 3 ribbies in this afternoon's ball game. Let's take a look at our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Ryan Howard had some good swings in this game. First inning, high breaking ball, almost hit it out of the ballpark for a 3-run homer, turned into an RBI double, scoring Shane Victorino. Big hit in the game, though, in the 7th inning. Same guy out there as yesterday, Sean Marshall, and he shot that ball just to the right of second base. Runners at second and third both scored. Phillies went from down 3-2 to up 4-3. That's the way the game ended. Those are our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, and after they took the lead, Wheels, they needed some good pitching, and they got it today from Michael Stutz and Ryan Madson. And Michael's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Michael doing a terrific job there. Your confidence got to be up. That slider you had going today was just devastating.
Thank you. Yeah, just trying to keep it down and away from him, and I don't know, just trying to get him to commit to it early and finish out of the zone lit.
Yeah, you're a strikeout guy there. I checked out your innings. I think right now you got about 21 strikeouts there. You concentrate on that, or just trying to hit those spots like you said?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get ahead of the hitters, and if I can put them away lit, I try to. If not, now it's pop up, ground out, same thing as strikeout.
Now, when you're throwing that slider there in your fastball, do you usually go with what works? You got a game plan on each and every hitter when you come in?
I rely on Chooch a lot. If he puts down a 3, I throw a slider. If it's down a 1, I throw a fastball, and I just go with him.
Well, you've been doing a great job. Continued success. We'll have you on here again. Tom Wills?
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. As the Phillies win it, boy, they got some pretty good defense today. None better than the final play. Chase Utley put it away for Ryan Madson and the Phils. They take 3 of 4. We'll be back after this.